Hello and welcome to our 2025 Fall Youth Preview. I'm Julia Smith, Books for Youth Senior Editor at Booklist. Before we begin, I'd like to go over some technical details. Today's slide presentation and title list were included in the reminder email you received from Zoom 1 hour ago. To download them, please open the reminder email you received from Zoom and scroll down to the bottom, click on the links located there. You can also download the slides and title list by typing the URLs on this screen into your web browser. If you have any trouble, please contact us at webinars@booklistonline.com. The audience is in listen-only mode, but we welcome any questions you may have. On the bottom of your screen is a toolbar with a section for Q&A. If you have a question or need technical assistance, simply click Q&A and type your message into the box that appears. We will do our best to respond to all tech-related questions, and we'll pass along all other questions to today's panelists so they can follow up with you after the webinar. Booklist offers closed captioning on all webinars. To enable or disable them on your screen, please look for and click the Show Captions icon on the toolbar mentioned earlier. If you choose to enable subtitles, you can adjust the size of them at any time by selecting Caption Settings. And finally, Booklist expects all participants to maintain an atmosphere of respect and fairness. Anyone who violates this standard of behavior, including engaging in any form of harassment, may, at the discretion of the organizers, be immediately removed. Today, we have the pleasure of hearing from Hannah Kettle, Head of Marketing and Publicity at Flying Eye Books, Kristen Luby, Associate Director, School and Library Marketing at Abrams Books, Jian Lee, Editor and Project Manager at Annick Press, Brianna Cornell, Sales Manager at Shadow Mountain Publishing, and Val Howlett, Associate Marketing and Publicity Manager at Beaming Books. We will begin with Hannah Kettle. Hannah entered children's publishing by joining Nosy Crow in 2022 and has since found her home at Flying Eye Books, where she continues to share her passion for comics and graphic novels at a time when their importance in inspiring the next generation of readers has never been more prevalent. In addition to this, Hannah has been a Society of Young Publishers co-chair and mentor, committed to widening access to the publishing industry. As head of marketing and publicity, she is working across Flying Eye Books' entire list of children's books, including board books, picture books, illustrated nonfiction, comics, and graphic novels. During her time at the company, Hannah has led successful campaigns for a range of titles, including the Waterstones Children's Book Prize shortlisted graphic novel, Rune, A Tale of 1,000 Faces by Carlos Sanchez, and the new Hilda and Twig series by Luke Pearson. Thank you for joining us today, Hannah.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Hi everyone, that was a great introduction, so I guess we'll just move straight on to the next slide. We're going to start off with picture books. So yes, next please. First up we have That's Not Stella. This is a funny, brilliant, fresh debut by Donna Fradin, and it's basically about how well you know your pets. Next slide, please. This is Milo and his best friend Stella the cat. Milo knows everything about Stella. So when she starts acting a bit strange, he starts to suspect next that that's not Stella. She's eating the food that she doesn't normally eat. She's climbing around on fences. She's not acting like her normal self, and Milo is sure of it. Next. But she can't possibly have hired a doppelganger to replace her while she goes on holiday. Or could she have? Next, this is a wonderful wonderful, funny, hilarious book. It's perfect for cat lovers, perfect for pet lovers. And there's also a dog in there, so if you're a dog person, you're covered. But yeah, it's just really funny, it's really silly, and it has a great payoff at the end. And like I said, Donna is a debut. And yeah, we're really excited about introducing her to you all. Next, please. So now we have the second in the Goodnight series, The Goodnight Airport by Tori Kosara. You might remember The Goodnight Garage from last year. So this is the series for vehicle obsessed children. And this time we are, surprise, surprise, at the airport. So any plane fans, you're covered. Next slide, please. So the premise of this series is really fun and really interesting. When everyone on Motor Isle goes to sleep, and this time we're at the airport, when everyone else has gone off on their travels and everyone's gone to sleep, what happens? What's everybody else doing? Well, we get to see all of these vehicles jump into action and make everything run smoothly. Next, please. You've got air ambulances, you've got fire trucks. We've also got the most popular of all trucks, the lavatory truck. Um, for my job now, I get to talk about poo, which is fun. So you've got all types of vehicles in there. Next, please. And we get to see what they do and why they do it, basically, and understand all of these really important workers and the jobs that they do and how that makes everything work. And we have some glorious end papers in here as well. So they show all of the different trucks that are involved, all the different vehicles, and it's got their names next to them as well. So you can have your avid vehicle fans pointing them out and telling you which one's which. Um, so as I said, this is by Tori Corsara. It's illustrated by a brilliant Colombian illustrator, Natalia. I think they work really well together. And Tori is actually from New York. We're a UK-based publisher, but we do have some amazing American writers and illustrators on our list. And she does visit New York on a fairly regular basis. So if anyone was interested in an event, then do let us know. Next, please. So, The Great Oak Tree, this is a stunning picture book. I'm sure you can agree just by looking at the cover. But the wonderful thing about this picture book is that it is jam-packed full of non-fiction facts. This is all about how integral trees are to our ecosystem. Next. We have this curious little blackbird here, and throughout this story, he's going to speak to our wise owl in the center and kind of say, well, what's the point in trees? They're just kind of standing around all the time, not really doing anything. Well, let me tell you, Blackbird, they're actually doing quite a lot. Next, we go through all of the seasons, and in a brilliantly lyrical text, we see what a tree is actually doing. Even though it's standing still, it's doing so much for all of the environment around it. Next. Going through, so we've just seen autumn, this is spring, and then we also have winter and of course summer. Yes, it's a really wonderful book where children are going to be learning, but they're not really going to be realizing that they're learning. And it's a really soft and beautiful illustration style that accompanies the lyrical text really, really well. Next. So this is written by Zoe Armstrong, who is based in the UK, and then illustrated by a French-Mauritian illustrator, Amelia Vidello. Yes, next, please. Moving on to Bear Heart by Louise Grieg and illustrated by Huang Jiang. This is such a gorgeous, gorgeous picture book. I challenge you not to cry while reading this book because it is beautiful. Next slide, please. This is Ernest the bear, and inside of his heart, he keeps all of the things that he loves, which are, of course, blueberries, salmon, honeycomb, and his favourite tree. But one day he meets this lonely, lost lion, and he asks, do you have space for me? Next. And he goes around trying to find people to let him in to their hearts because Ernest doesn't have room. But eventually he does let him in. And this is just a gorgeous tale about what happens when we let love into our lives and how it changes us, even when we have to let it go again. Next. Beautiful illustrations here. Next. So this is, as I said, it was written by Louise Grieg and illustrated by Huang Jiang, who are based in the UK and Vietnam, respectively. Next. Today, this is a fabulous picture book that's all about the wonderful little moments in life to celebrate a growing baby into a toddler. It's about celebrating the small things. Next slide, please. Beautiful illustrations, very simple text, the perfect gift for a new parent. Um, yeah, we can see all the lovely joy that's in here, and I think a lot of people can relate to it. Next, please. This is written by Mark. Why have I just forgotten Mark's last surname? Sorry. And Ruby Wright is the illustrator. Next, please. Moving on to early readers. Next slide, please. This is Yelp Yeti, Chaos in Kathmandu, a brilliant early reader about Dev, who is being blamed for making a lot of mess. Next slide. He's just looking forward to having fun next in his summer holidays, but he's being blamed for all this Yeti chaos, but no one obviously believes that there's a Yeti around. And he needs to prove that there is and help him get back home. Next. Both of our creators are originally from Nepal, so this is a wonderful story that's actually based in Nepal, where Yetis originally come from. Next. Next, we have the second in the Hilda and Twig series. So I'm sure you all know Hilda, all love Hilda. This is a younger comic series by Luke Pearson. We're still following Hilda and Twig on their wonderful adventures. It's a prequel to the original Hilda series. And yeah, this time they've accidentally woken the Iceman. And as always, some wonderful adventures are about to happen with a lot of chaos involved. Next, please. And again, just so you also know, the paperback of Hilda and Twig Hide from the Rain is also coming out this year as well. Next slide, please. We have The Spectacular Space Loop by Javi de Castro. This is a brilliant space adventure comic, and the fabulous thing about it, next, is that once you've read it one way, you can turn it around and read it the other way. Next. So there's text both ways around. It's really easy to understand, really easy to follow. And yeah, it's a wonderful adventure full of space, aliens, magicians, all of that stuff. Next. And Javi is from Spain. Next slide, please. Comics and graphic novels. Next slide, please. Cosmo Park. This is a fabulous science fiction graphic novel. Next. Written by the wonderful Madeline Finlay, who is a brilliant scientist and also a podcaster for The Guardian. This is jam packed full of science facts, string theory, the birth of stars, all of that stuff's in here, but in a brilliant fiction narrative that's going to get anyone excited about it, even if you're not a science fanatic. Great illustrations by Tom Deary. We're really excited about this one. Next slide, please. And again, thank you. Froggy! I'm really excited to tell you guys about Froggy. This actually started as a webtoon. Next slide, please. And Paige is incredibly popular on webtoon. And we've worked with her to create this original, all original stories. It's all new. None of this has been on webtoon, but it's the Froggy that everybody loves. He's going on some great adventures around the big pond, and he meets great creatures, pals, Fishtifer the fish, Ruby the bee, and Craig the crayfish, because why not? It's funny, it's hilarious. Everyone's going to love it, from 7 all the way up to adults. Next slide, please. Okay, Rune, the Tale of a Thousand... Oh, sorry, Tale of a Thousand Faces is the first book. Tale of the Obsidian Maze is the second in the Rune series, and it is a brilliant follow-up to the Waterstones prize-winning book. Chiri is our main protagonist. She is deaf and she speaks in sign language throughout the book. It's a wonderful fantasy about friendship, about not feeling like you're enough, but finding help in friends around you. Next slide, please. YA. Next slide. So we have Vern, Custodian of the Universe by Tara Waiters. You might recognise this book. It was shortlisted for the Scholastic Graphic Novel Prize. It's a wonderful sci-fi adventure about burnout and about finding yourself and trusting your instincts and asking the big question, what is the point? Next, please. And again. Astral Panic. This is a wonderful debut by Katie Hicks. Gail is trying Oh, I think I've run out of time. Sorry, guys, but do check out all of the books and yeah, get in touch if you need anything from me.
All right. Thank you, Hannah. And the full title list and slides will be available to everyone after the webinar. So you'll get to see everything that Flying Eye has. So next up, we have Kristen Luby. Kristen is the Associate Director of School and Library Marketing at Abrams. She is proud to work with Abrams' many talented creators, including Jeff Kinney, Nathan Hale, Andrea Beatty, Duncan Tonati, I knew I was going to mess it, Tonatiuh, and many more. Kristen fell in love with reading at her hometown library in Middleton, New Jersey, and visits her local Bay Ridge branch of the Brooklyn Public Library as often as possible. Take it away, Kristen.
Thank you so much, Julia. And hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks to Booklist for having us. I'm Kristen Luby, Associate Director of School and Library Marketing at Abrams. I'm excited to be here to share some highlights from our fall 2025 list. So let's get started with picture books. Next slide, please. First, I have to give a quick shout out to our new picture book illustrated by C.G. Esperanza. He's the winner of this year's CSK Illustrator Award and a Caldecott honoree for My Daddy is a Cowboy. Out this July, Fish Fry Friday, written by Winsome Bingham, is a companion to Soul Food Sunday, a CSK Illustrator honor book. This story welcomes readers back to Granny's table to learn how to catch and fry fish. Next slide. This is another beautiful, colorful celebration of cultural traditions and the importance of passing them on to future generations. And once again, CG's artwork here is just absolutely stunning. Next, we have a new picture book from two-time Caldecott honoree Lane Smith, a new interactive read aloud that's all about taking a break and getting those wiggles out and running wild with imagination. Lane takes readers through a day at school where we learn about very important topics like reading, science, and math. But when you're ready to take a break, it's time for ready, set, next slide, recess. So everyone at your desks, computers, wherever you're listening, shake your hands, shake your legs, shake your booty. I can't see you, but I'm hoping you're doing it. And stop. End of recess. I did not think there would be so much booty shaking. Next slide. Lane Smith's playful high-energy text asks readers to make trombone sounds, type out on an imaginary keyboard, quack like a duck, and other goofy activities that let them get all their sillies out before finally winding back down at the end of the book. The interactive breaks in this book are made for story times and read-alouds, and with Lane's unique art style and kid-perfect humor, this is a fantastically fun story. Next, Body Beautiful is a collaboration from new powerhouse author illustrator team Susan Verde, best-selling author of the I Am series, and rising star and Indigenous artist Steph Littlebird, the illustrator of My Powerful Hair by Carol Lindstrom, which received 4-starred reviews. Together, they've crafted Body Beautiful, a celebration of bodies in all shapes and forms, featuring a diverse range of body types and abilities. The inclusive and affirming text tells young readers your body is unique, your body is growing, your body is deserving of love and kindness. Next slide. Your body is your own, not for anyone else to judge, define, or touch without your permission. The gentle message of consent and bodily autonomy in this story, I think, is such a needed one for young readers. Next slide. And Body Beautiful is not only a celebration of our differences in physical appearances, but also of our body's expressiveness, our wisdom, our resilience, and everything that our body does to move us through the world. So this is an empowering read to share with bodies young and old. Next, we have the new Questionnaires picture book by #1 New York Times bestselling team, Andrea Beatty and David Roberts, Billie Jean Pete Athlete. She is perhaps my new favorite questionnaire, and I think maybe the most relatable of the questionnaires so far, because unlike her classmates, Ada Twist, scientist, and Sophia Valdez, future prez, Billie Jean, like a lot of us, was not born knowing exactly what she wanted to do. Next slide. In fact, Billie Jean doesn't feel like she can do anything right. And the thought keeps her up at night, trying to find her unique talent. Next slide. And then one day the unthinkable happens. Billie Jean is playing basketball and she's in exactly the right spot at exactly the right time to score a basket for the other team. Oh no. Next slide. And even though Billie Jean wants to run out of the gym and hide, she finishes the game and she discovers with the help of her squeaky sneakers that she can combine movement and rhythm and sound to create a music that's all her own. As Andrea Beatty explains in her author's note for the book, most of us are Billie Jean. We figure it out as we go. Don't compare yourself with others because each person has their own journey and their own unique talents to discover. Next, we have a new picture book. Ooh, I lost my place. I'm so sorry about that. Next, we have a new picture book this November from award-winning author and illustrator Duncan Tonatiuh. This timely and needed story is about a community coming together in solidarity and choosing hope in the face of fear. Next slide. Mouse-Tepec is a bustling town full of color, music, and culture until one day a cat appears who begins attacking the townsfolk. Next slide. A shadow overtakes the town, and the villagers hide inside their homes, too afraid to go outside. No one is sure what to do until a mouse named Vita dreams about an albrihe, a colorful and fantastical creature. When she awakes, she tells the others what she saw. Next slide. And the town bands together to create albrihe sculptures that scare the cat away. Through their creativity and solidarity, the mice restore color and peace back to their town. As Duncan explains, this story is an allegory for the violence that has occurred in some parts of Mexico. Duncan hopes to remind young readers that finding joy can be a powerful way to cope with fear and encourage them to confront with kindness and courage any shadows that threaten their community. Next, let's talk about chapter books and middle grade, starting with a sweet and spooky story. The Unlucky Aventuras of Ramon and El Cucuy is a new chapter book series from Newbery Medal winner Donna Barbara Higuera and illustrator Juliana Perdomo. You may recognize El Cucuy from 2 previous picture books from these creators, and in this new series, they've aged up the characters for slightly older readers who will love the lightly spooky and laugh out loud hilarious story with 2 color illustrations throughout. Next slide. This story follows the journey of our little Kukui monster who attends Monster Academy and receives his final assignment from La Profesora, terrorizing his first human child, for that is every monster's obligation. Readers will follow El Kukui's misadventures once he meets his human child, Ramon, and accompanies him to his first day of a new school, which turns out to be much scarier than any monster, and also full of hijinks, of course. Fans of Monsters, Inc. will love this sweet story about new kid anxiety that shows us even a monster could use a new friend. Next, acclaimed author and illustrator duo Frances Harding and Emily Gravett are back in a new illustrated middle grade fantasy. You may remember their collaboration from last year's Island of Whispers, which received 4-star reviews, and the New York Times called lush and poetic. Their newest collaboration, Forest of a Thousand Eyes, has the same stunning format as Island of Whispers with gorgeous illustrations throughout. And Frances and Emily have a real knack for sweeping readers into their otherworldly town, as you'll see in those, into an otherworldly journey, excuse me, as you'll see in our first 2-star reviews, which call out the sumptuous world building and evocative prose. This new story is a dystopian tale with an ultimately hopeful message. Readers will follow a girl named Feather, who must venture through a dangerous forest that has overtaken the world and is slowly encroaching on her town. In order to save her town, she discovers that they must cooperate with each other for everyone's survival. So cooperation and community is the key. This is a beautiful story about perseverance and community. Next, I also wanted to quickly call out some continuing series this fall. We have the 6th book in Sadia Farouqi's and Anna Bushri's illustrated chapter book series, Maria Khan. We have the 3rd book in Oliver's Great Big Universe series. This is the perfect next read for Wimpy Kid fans. It's got the same illustrated diary format, and it's laugh out loud funny. Also includes a lot of STEM content. This book is all about evolution. We have the new Detective Duck chapter book from acclaimed team Henry Winkler, Lynn Oliver, and Dan Santat, following an adorable gang of animals as they solve eco mysteries. So there's an environmental message to them as well. And finally, get ready to party because the 20th Diary of a Wimpy Kid book, Party Pooper, is coming this fall. Expect gobs of fun and over-the-top antics as Greg throws an epic birthday party for none other than himself. Next, let's talk about graphic novels. First up, we have the new middle grade graphic novel and the beginning of a multi-book fantasy series that we're calling Anne of Green Gables meets How to Train Your Dragon. In Kindred Dragons, readers will meet Alice, a fanciful young girl who's obsessed with dragons. On Prince Edward Island, where Alice lives, fairies deliver dragon eggs to a select few known as kindreds, but no egg has ever arrived for Alice. Next slide. One day, while wandering through the woods, Alice finds and secretly befriends a mysterious old dragon named Brim. Alice is excited to finally have a dragon friend, but there's something strange about him. He doesn't have a kindred. When Brim suddenly falls ill, Alice sets out on a desperate quest to save him. And as Alice searches for a cure, she discovers that her connection to dragons is unlike that of any other kindred. But will it be enough to save her dragon friend? I absolutely love the color palette of this book. I think it's just so beautiful, and I hope you enjoy it. Next, what do you get when you cross theater kid drama with prep school intrigue, a good old-fashioned murder mystery, and an award-winning creative team? Well, you get This Place Kills Me, a must-read YA graphic novel coming in August. Award-winning and best-selling creators Mariko Tamaki and Nicole Gu have teamed up to create a truly compelling whodunit that's told in comics, letters, and diary entries. So when the beautiful and popular star actress at their school is found dead the morning after opening night of the school's play, the school is thrown into chaos, and it's up to transfer student Abby to figure out what happened. I think readers will be on the edge of their seats and begging for more from this book. Continuing series, I also wanted to call out some continuing graphic novel series. We have the 13th book in Nathan Hale's Bones and Berserkers, and since it's book number 13, it's only fitting that it's spooky stories. And then on the next slide, we have Super Boba Cafe. Book 1 was an ALA Best Graphic Novels for Children. Book 2 is just like the first book in that, like Boba, it's super sweet, refreshing, and just a wonderful treat that every young reader will enjoy. And next, let's talk about young adults. I have one young adult book I wanted to call out for you all. This is Morris Award finalist Hannah V. Sawyer's next novel in verse. You may remember her first book, All the Fighting Parts. Hannah is an award-winning poet and former teen slam poetry competitor, which was part of her inspiration for this story. Truth is, her main character, Truth, writes and performs slam poetry. And when Truth finds out that she's pregnant, she decides that she wants an abortion. So she decides to turn that into a slam poetry piece that she performs about the decision that she's made. And unfortunately, the performance goes viral online and gets a lot more attention than she expected. But this is a truly incredible story. Hannah is able to tackle these deep issues in a really thoughtful way. So I hope you'll check it out. And finally, I'm at time, and we are just talking about kids' books today. I know we have some David Levithan fans in the audience. Please check out his adult book. And that's it for me. Please reach out to me, and I can send you digital preview copies and sign you up for a seasonal catalog. This is only a small snapshot of our books, so please check out the full catalog online and on Edelweiss. And thanks so much to Booklist. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Kristen. Our next presentation will come from Gian Lee. Gian is the editor and project manager at Annick Press. She is always on the search for stories that empower young readers and reflect their experiences. She is a Master of Arts in Children's Literature from the University of British Columbia and lives in St. Catharines, Ontario, with over 50 plants and 2 cats who are always trying to eat them. Thanks for being here. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Julia. Oh, my video. Sorry, I'm going to turn my video off actually because my internet's a little bit wonky today. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm so excited to share our upcoming fall titles with you. And for those of you that aren't familiar with us, next slide, please. We're a Canadian independent children's publisher based in Toronto. This year is actually our 50th anniversary, and we're so thrilled to continue to uphold its original mandate of making books for kids that are self-affirming, informative, and fun. We have a jam-packed, exciting list of books across ages, including board books, nonfiction, and YA, so I'll just jump right into it. Next slide, please. I get to talk about the board book Hello Little Ones by Amandine Pugh. This book is an incredibly charming illustrations that highlight some activities that young humans and animals have in common. It pairs simple text with whimsical illustrations that are full of fun details that readers will enjoy pointing out at story time. I absolutely love the playfulness, joy, and color that jump out on every page. This is a fabulous read aloud that also encourages interaction and would be a great gift for very young readers and a wonderful addition to any preschool library. Next slide, please. And speaking of joy and color, our next title is a wonderful picture book by Yaya and the Dantats by Camelia Koo and illustrated by Phoebe Zhao. The author, Camelia Koo, was inspired by her memories of visiting her father and grandfather in care homes and recognizing how scary it can feel visiting your loved ones in spaces like this, particularly as a child. But she also realized the immense sense of community and joy in these environments, and this beautiful picture book captures this in a magical way. The tone of the book is loving and playful, with a fun through line of the main character trying to figure out where her yaya keeps zooming off to. Along the way, she meets all his friends and gets to learn something about each of them. In doing so, she discovers that it is not a scary place at all and has a wonderful time making more memories with her beloved Yaya and his new friend. Next slide, please. So joy is definitely the theme of this season, as Radamaku by Howie Shia is indeed the truly joyful, raucous bomb that we all need right now, and the story of hope for kids in a world that can feel increasingly filled with monsters that feel too big for them to handle. But in this story, the monsters, or growlies as they're called in the book, are no match for this determined group of kids who set out to save all the grown-ups, armed with nothing but drums and unwavering resolve. The word Radamaku is a sound. It's a sequence of sounds called the rudiment, one of 40 hand-to-hand patterns that make up the building blocks of drumming, kind of like how the pianist learns scales. This makes Radamaku an interactive picture book meant to not only be read aloud, but with clapping, stomping, and however way readers want to express themselves along with the book's rhythm. Next slide, please. So speaking of anniversaries, this is also the 35th anniversary of this beloved classic, Baseball Bats for Christmas. We're thrilled to introduce this new edition of the story by Inuk storyteller and author Michael Arverlock Kuzagak, re-illustrated by noted Kalalek Inuk and vanished artist Coco Abangwak Lynch. This is a beautiful story of self-reliance, ingenuity, and a sense of community. Next slide, please. Oh, next again. We're also excited to introduce the new bilingual edition of the best-selling innovative picture book, Walking Together, by Elder Dr. Albert D. Marshall and Louise Zimani, illustrated by Emily Kwagashig. This Mi'kmaq and English edition gives us the opportunity to celebrate the Mi'kmaq language and to reach communities that speak it, as well as to offer our support for continued Indigenous language learning. Walking Together, if you're not familiar with our original edition, is the first children's book about Echuamuk, or two-eyed seeing, the gift of multiple perspectives, and the Mi'kmaq concept of Netikulimp, meaning to protect Mother Earth for the ancestors, present, and future generations. Next slide, please. All right, on to some more nonfiction. We have Unreal by Kate Simpson and illustrated by Leela Rudge. It's an incredibly fun, playful picture book that has ever-relevant themes of critical thinking and the importance of being able to decipher truth and misinformation. Our narrator leads readers through the museum as some of the displays from the Myths and Legends exhibit have snuck into the natural history wing. We have to sort it all out, but how can we tell fact from fiction? Kids will have fun guessing which animals and plants are real and which are fake in this extraordinary exhibition of the strange and wonderful animals and plants that inhabit our world and our imaginations. The book also includes a brilliant guide to help us know what to look for when tracking down truths. Next slide, please. This is a series I'm sure needs a little introduction, as Salma has been beloved since her picture book debut. Salma Speaks Up is the fourth book in the Early Reader series by Danny Ramadan and Anna Braun. In this one, we learn more about Ria, Salma's best friend. Ria has dreams of being a poet, and so when their school announces a speech club competition where the winner gets to take part in the writing workshop, Ria convinces a reluctant Salma to join the club with her. Everything is going well until Nathan, another member of the group, starts criticizing the girl's accent. He claims that to be a real poet, Ria has to learn to speak English without an accent. Ria is determined to be the best poet, so she agrees to it, but does not sit well with Salma. Surely there isn't a correct way to speak, is there? Danny Ramadan and Anna Braun are such a power duo, and we are so excited to continue to work with them on 2 additional books in the series. Next slide, please. And another new title in the series, we're so excited to present the 3rd book in the Secrets of Ravensparrow series by the talented and hilarious Braden Hallett. Teddy has always been an anxious kid, but after dealing with not just murderous hamsters, but a monstrous dog and a boy-stealing giant cheesy worm, he feels pretty justified in being on edge. But nobody, not even his friends, believe him about yet another sinister new presence in Teddy's life, a corgi. At least, though, he has his fuzzy buddy, his cat, Mr. Fuzzykins. But on yet another turn for the worse for Teddy, Mr. Fuzzykins transforms into the intimidating, talking, walking on 2 legs Hunter Holloway, who runs to the woods to keep Teddy safe. And he warns Teddy that something truly evil lurks in the woods, but Teddy and his friends have to gather up their courage and head into the danger so they can get Mr. Fuzzykins back to his former purry form. Next slide, please. We're also introducing the sequel to the Danica series in Danica de la Torre, Dream Detective. Danica has a new case on her hands, and this time it's personal. She has lost her relicario, a powerful amulet that keeps her safe from evil spirits. With the help of her best friends and fellow kid detectives, she follows the trail into a parallel realm where she hopes a ghostly presence will be able to reunite her with the talisman. This intriguing series blends a detective story with a not too scary ghost story and Filipino mythology. Next slide, please. Now to the last nonfiction title on this list. It's the 80th anniversary of the dropping of the atomic bomb in Hiroshima. And survivor Setsuko Thurlow shares her memories of that horrific event, its effects on her family and the citizens of Hiroshima, and her lifelong commitment to activism to ban nuclear arms. From early memories of her happy life in Hiroshima through the devastating impact of the dropping of the atomic bomb, and finally building a life devoted to working for a ban on nuclear weapons, Setsuko Thurlow provides the reader with insights on the debilitating impacts of the bomb. With informational text and hauntingly beautiful illustrations by Michelle Fyodor scattered throughout the book to give readers historical context for the places and events, the reader is provided with a full picture of what it was like after the bomb dropped, the struggle to return to normalcy, and the plea for activism to ban nuclear weapons. Next slide, please. And last, but certainly not least, I'll end by speaking about a debut Gothic YA novel by Sierra Marilyn Riley, The Dark Cove Theater Society. So step into the world of Dark Cove Arts Academy, an elite, prestigious boarding school for serious young actors, writers, musicians, and artists only. Everyone is talented, which means nobody is. And the odds are stacked against 16-year-old Violet Constantino. Her scholarship took a significant hit after her mid-monologue panic attack last semester. This year, Violet is determined to keep her head down and avoid any more attention. But the school has other plans. Violet is cast as one of the leads in the annual Halloween play, alongside her ex-crush, Hunter Kinsley, and her arch nemesis, the gorgeous, infuriatingly perfect Frankie Lynn. To further complicate matters are rumors of the Dark Cove Theater Society curse, which causes one cast member to mysteriously drop out of school every year. Violet is convinced that she'll be this year's victim, and the school may have more secrets than she realized. And as you can see alongside the gorgeous prose, the book also has a map, excerpts from the student handbook, and other pieces of found text to really immerse readers into the mysterious world of Dark Cove. Next slide, please. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been such a pleasure sharing our upcoming list with you. And please contact me at this email if you have any follow-up questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jen. Our next presenter will be Brianna Cornell. Brianna is not at all surprised that her love for libraries and cats led her to a career in publishing. She holds a bachelor's degree in English from Weber State University and serves as sales manager at Shadow Mountain. Thanks for being here, Brianna. The floor is yours.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to Booklist's Fall Youth Preview. My name is Bree, I serve as Sales Manager at Shadow Mountain, and I'm super excited to be here today to share with you Shadow Mountain's fall middle grade and young adult releases. So let's jump right into it. Okay, we're going to kick things off with Forever Ripley by McCall Hoyle. This is coming from the same author of Stella, Just Gus, and Millie, also known as The Best Friends Dog Tales. These books have received more than 20 awards, award nominations, and honors. And instead of telling you more about Forever Ripley, I'm going to actually let McCall do that on the next slide. So here we go.
Hello, reader, educator, librarian friends. I'm McCall Hoyle, teacher, former school librarian, and author of Forever Ripley, coming this fall from Shadow Mountain Publishing's lineup of empathy-building books. Emily Dickinson, one of my favorite poets, once said, "Dogs are better than humans because they know but do not tell." Of course, I agree. Some of my best friends have been dogs, which is why Forever Ripley and so much of what I write is told from a dog's point of view. I have never met a human, or any other creature for that matter, that encompasses such a perfect blend of childlike innocence and the capacity for such unconditional love as a good dog. A student once asked me on a school visit why sad things have to happen in my books. His question prompted one of the most meaningful conversations I've had with students about books and life. I shared with him and his classmates the story of my father's death and the tsunami of sadness and anger that consumed me for several years. But I also shared all the beautiful experiences that came out of this earth-shattering tragedy. How my grief made me more emotionally vulnerable with my students. How my sister, brother, and I grew closer in ways we never could have imagined. And how I am now an overall kinder and gentler human. And we discussed how books are often a safe place to practice these big emotions before we're confronted with great sadness and tragedy in our own lives. Books that cover sad topics help us build emotional resilience. Yes, sad things happen in this book. Yes, you will most likely cry at some point. But Ripley's story is about so much more than grief or tears. It is a story of beauty and healing and growing up. It is a roadmap for remembering those we hold dear and for dealing with loss in healthy ways. It is a joyful celebration of the lives we share with our four-legged friends, and it is a tribute to the special place that dogs hold in our families, in our lives, and in our hearts. My great hope is that reading Ripley's story will soften your heart the way writing it did mine. And I hope you have some time in the coming days to curl up with a good dog and a good book and enjoy all the things that bring you the most joy. Happy reading.
McCall has the cutest little dogs. I am a cat person and I still love her dog. So cute. But anyways, I wanted to show you a couple samples and briefly mention that Forever Ripley has these captivating full-page illustrations by Joanna Tarkela, a Finnish freelance illustrator renowned for her realistic wildlife and nature-themed artwork. Next up is The Invincible List of Lonnie Lee by Vida Bybee. When her elite performance band is chosen to perform in London, Lonnie should be thrilled. But with too many fears to count and her little brother Gavin unable to join her due to a serious heart condition, the trip feels more daunting than exciting. Before she leaves, Gavin gives her a challenge. Tap into her own hidden strength by embodying the 8 invincible brothers, each with a special power. Gavin's challenge inspires Lonnie to create her own invincible list, and as she checks off each quality, she discovers these superpowers she aspires to gain might not be as far-fetched as they seem. This book integrates elements of Chinese cultural mythology and symbolic storytelling, enriching the narrative and providing opportunities for discussion about cultural stories, family heritage, and personal beliefs. Vida is the daughter of Asian immigrants and has a deep connection to the culture represented in this book. She is proud to share her heritage through both her fiction and nonfiction stories. Lonnie's story emphasizes themes of resilience, bravery, and the importance of family support, making it a great choice for teaching valuable life lessons to youth. This novel is complete with many illustrations done by Huan Fan, whose bold, vivid artwork reflects his vast life experiences and rich cultural knowledge. For those of you who are attending ALA Annual here in a couple of weeks, Vida will be there. She's going to be speaking at the Diversity in Publishing stage, and she's going to be signing in the authors area. And so we'd love to see you there and get you a signed ARC of the Invincible List of Lonnie Lee. The Curse of the Lost Cave by Stephanie Beers is book 2 of the Raven Gallows series. It comes out early 2026. When a mysterious book is unearthed at a nearby archaeological dig, Raven Gallows, determined to become a famous detective, is eager to investigate. The artifact sets Raven and her friends on a quest to uncover the rumored hidden treasure of the legendary outlaw, Alf Bolin. As the team deciphers codes, navigates eerie caves, and battles personal fears, they discover they're not the only ones chasing the prize. Dominion, a shadowy conglomerate with a suspicious history, is also on the hunt. Raven suspects that her mother and the elusive Dupin Society might also be investigating a deeper conspiracy tied to the corporation. Book 1 of the Raven Gallows series, The Secret of Moonrise Manor, just came out a few months ago. Booklist has said that in a spooky but delightful way, this mystery is a cross between Scooby-Doo and the Addams Family. The books in the Raven Gallows series are inspired by historical people, events, and locations, and are perfect for readers who love puzzles and STEM subjects. Our final middle grade offering is Janitor's School of Garbage, War of the Wasteland, which is the final book in the sequel trilogy to the best-selling Janitors series. At the beginning of the trilogy, Landon discovers a portal to the School of Garbage where he studies to become a garbologist in order to trash talk and fight evil as monsters wreak havoc throughout elementary schools. In this final book, Landon and Jade continue to bond as new step-siblings as they work together with the other students and teachers at the School of Garbage to save their Servites, defeat the locksmith, and save the world from being overrun by trash. In addition to being filled with fantastic sights and plenty of action, this read offers themes of teamwork, empathy, and courage. Okay, and now for our young adult offering. New from the same world as Castors and Crowns comes Sonnets and Serpents by Elizabeth Loam. Castors and Crowns received a starred review from Forward, who called it an enthralling fantasy novel in which teenagers navigate grief and discord to find love and acceptance. Castors and Crowns was also shortlisted for a Reading the West Book Award in the Young Adult category. Sonnets and Serpents tells the story of Princess Eliza, who is Princess Arya's sister from Castors and Crowns, and Silas Bennett, a shapeshifter who has set out to prove that legendary magic stealers exist. With Eliza's relentless optimism pitted against Silas's unyielding cynicism, the two enemies can't seem to have a civil conversation. But when they are unexpectedly bound by a pair of magical bracelets, which can only be unlocked by a kiss of true love, they quickly discover that they'll have to work together as they navigate different languages, their past prejudices and fears, and a blossoming relationship. When their search for the truth about magic stealers threatens both Silas's magic and Eliza's safety, the two must learn to be vulnerable and trust each other's hearts. The novel has received endorsements from Allison Anderson, Ashley Bustamante, and Sarah B. Larson. Allison Anderson's endorsement calls Sonnets and Serpents an absolute delight and says Loam has created a story that leaves you not only swooning, but absolutely enchanted. This hardcover will be enhanced with sprayed edges and will include a map of the fictional world. Sonnets and Serpents releases on October 7th. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and a big thanks to Booklist for hosting us today. If anyone is interested in a complete catalog of our fall releases, you could find that on the Shadow Mountain Edelweiss page. And again, if anyone is coming to ALA Annual here in a couple weeks, we'd love to see you. We have plenty of ARCs, so we'd love to chat with you and catch up. Thanks again, and happy reading, everyone.
Thank you so much, Brianna. Our final presenter will be Val Howlett. Val is the Associate Marketing and Publicity Manager for Beaming Books. They have over a decade of experience in children's book publishing and have previously worked at Bloomsbury Children's and Running Press Kids. Take it away, Val.
Thanks, and hello, librarians and educators. I want to thank you for hanging on through the full presentation. I love hearing about new books that will be coming out into the world, but I also know this many titles can be a lot to absorb. So I hope you'll stick with me through one more. My name is Val Howlett. I'm the Associate Marketing and Publicity Manager for Beaming Books, and I'm here to tell you about some big books we have coming out this fall. I didn't want to cram our full title list into 11 minutes, so instead I'll share some select titles in more detail. But if you want to check out our full fall list, I'll share some links for you to do so, plus my own contact info at the end. But first, because Beaming Books is a newer imprint, I want to start by sharing who we are in case you haven't heard of us before. Beaming Books launched in 2018 as a new children's book imprint of Augsburg Fortress Publishers, with a mission to publish books that help kids thrive socially, emotionally, and spiritually. We are primarily a picture book publisher, and we are known for publishing beautiful children's books that focus on mental health, progressive Christianity, diverse childhood experiences, and social emotional learning. And speaking of social emotional learning, which is a big area for us, I've included a few titles from us that you might know. The Boy with Big, Big Feelings. We have a whole big, big series with follow-ups like The Girl with Big, Big Questions. The Memory Box, a book that helps kids cope with grief. And Catching Thoughts, a book that teaches kids how to acknowledge unwanted thoughts, show them compassion, and then actively let them go. So definitely check those books out if you haven't already, and come to us if you are looking for more picture books that help with social emotional learning. We have lots of options for you. So now that you know a bit about where we've been, here's where we are headed next season. First, I'm so excited to introduce you to a really special project, Grandmother Moon by Winia Natsu Lamkason, illustrated by Trisha Waters. Winia Natsu is a member of the Schaghticoke Tribal Nation, which is located mainly in Western Connecticut and New York State. But she chose to write about Grandmother Moon because Grandmother Moon is an honored figure in the traditions of many Eastern Woodlands tribes, indigenous tribes stretching from east of the Mississippi River in the southern US, all the way up through Eastern Canada. So this story shares an important piece of indigenous culture. It's also a matrilineal story. Winia Natsu grew up listening to the story of Grandmother Moon from her grandmother, and this book echoes that intergenerational sharing. During her weekly car ride with her grandmother from the city to the reservation, a young native girl ponders the moon that seems to follow them, and her grandmother teaches her about Grandmother Moon, her significance, and why they honor her. Trisha Waters' illustrations are rich and really capture the warmth and safety of the girl and her grandmother's relationship. Like the story itself, the illustrations move seamlessly between the magic of indigenous teachings of the natural world to the story's modern setting, reminding modern audiences that this belief system is still present. If you are planning any programming, Grandmother Moon is a great pick for Indigenous Peoples Day on October 13th and National Native American Heritage Month in November. Winia Natsu Lamkason is an educator and traditional storyteller who has been a voice for social and cultural equity for more than 20 years. And she was named the 2024 National History Teacher of the Year. She's an excellent speaker who would make a great guest. Next, we have One Can Be by Pat Zietlow Miller, who you may have heard of from her book Be Kind, which was a New York Times bestseller, Wherever You Go, or her numerous other picture books. It also features these really fun, stylish illustrations by Annie Crone, which I'll give you a taste of here. Doesn't it look like it belongs on wallpaper or a children's card? I love them. So One Can Be celebrates the power of one. It starts by talking about quiet time and the things one can do alone. But it's mainly about one person's ability to make a difference. This is one of those great books where the text is spare, but there's a lot going on the page for kids and adults to discuss. Annie Crone's art shows the main character evaluating her giant collection of books and coming up with the idea to build a little library. But it's harder than she thought it would be. So she gathers up the courage to ask some friends for help and ends up leading the project. In the end, a new little library is installed at the park across the street, and the girl and her new friends all have new books to read. One Can Be celebrates a love of reading and subtly and gently encourages shy kids to reach out to others and share their ideas. You can see it's already gotten some nice reviews, and we're looking forward to more. Since I'm speaking of kids who have trouble reaching out, it's a good time to introduce a different kind of story, Gilbert and the Ghost by Heather Pierce Stegall and illustrated by Jess Mason. And I'll show you how this works as both a year-round story and good Halloween fun. Gilbert believes there is a ghost living at the house on 632 Savannah Street, even though his family doesn't. Gilbert relates to the ghost because he too often feels invisible. So Gilbert leaves gifts for the ghost, a friendship bracelet, a plate of cookies, even a drawing with a note. When each disappears one by one, Gilbert finds that believing and friendship are worth the effort. You can see that Jess Mason's gothic, whimsical illustrations makes for an atmospheric Halloween story. The artwork feels almost Burton-esque, with Gilbert's striped overalls and the gloomy skies. But the story is gentle. It's a tale about reaching out to another, wrapped in the question of, is there or isn't there a ghost? It falls neatly into the category of Halloween books for story time that won't scare anyone, but it also doesn't bring up Halloween by name, so you can grab it anytime you are looking for a friendship story. A big category for us at Beaming Books is holiday stories. And I'm proud to share a Thanksgiving story that already generated a lot of excitement when we previewed it on Instagram. Two List Thanksgiving by Christine Wan, illustrated by Sienna Youngsung Kim. It's a cozy story of a mixed Korean and white American family celebrating the holiday and all the foods and traditions that combine to make the day special. The story starts with the main character going grocery shopping with their mom for all the ingredients they will need, first stopping at the American market, then the Korean market before heading home to cook. The second half of the story shares how two sides of her family gather together over good food. Two List Thanksgiving will resonate with other Korean Americans, but also with all blended families who combine different cultural dishes and traditions during the holidays. The back matter of the book includes two recipes, one for japchae, a Korean noodle dish, and one for turkey stuffing. There's also a brief glossary of Korean vocabulary and an author's note. I also want to call out that we have a whole catalog of stories about sharing holidays across cultures. They include a tale of combining Indian and American traditions during Christmas time, and another about a girl sharing Diwali with people who are new to the holiday when she first arrives in America. These books are great ways to introduce kids to a diversity of holiday traditions, and you can find the catalog at bit.ly/hallbooks. Very briefly, I want to tease some books I didn't get to. We have two new stories that combine both English and Spanish vocabulary, an inclusive, justice-oriented storybook Bible for families, and a whole bunch of holiday titles, including The Memory Tree, which helps kids navigate Christmas after the loss of a loved one. And here's where you can find more info on those books and on all the picture books I shared with you today. If you have any questions at all, please do feel free to reach out and email me. My email address is on the slide. I love hearing from people who share our books with young readers. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Val, and a huge thank you to all of today's wonderful panelists. Tomorrow, all attendees will receive an email containing links to today's video recording, slide presentation, title list, and a certificate of completion. For more about Booklist webinars, be sure to visit booklistonline.com/webinars, where you can view archives of past webinars and register for upcoming ones like those you see here. You can also find out about the latest webinars on our social channels. Visit us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and now Blue Sky. We are thrilled to announce that the digital version of Booklist Reader, the monthly Reader's Advisory magazine from the editors of Booklist, is now an ALA member benefit. Head over to our new site to start reading. And if you're not already a Booklist subscriber, you'll use your ALA membership ID to sign in. And once again, if you are attending ALA's annual conference, you'll have an opportunity to sample this magazine at the show. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. A huge thank you to our panelists and to our sponsors, Flying Eye Books, Abrams Books, Annick Press, Shadow Mountain Publishing, and Beaming Books. This concludes today's webinar. See you next time.